Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Taylor and I post new nail videos every single week. So if these are the type of videos that you're into, please click on that subscribe button down below and turn your notifications on so that way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Today I'm finally bringing you guys the second Birthstone nail collaboration video with my girl and dear friend Femi Beauty. Now we know this video is extremely late, but that is due to circumstances that we and all can't even control. It was very hard for me to get in communication with Femi last month due to the weather conditions that they were having, and we really did try to get this video up before February was completely over, but unfortunately we couldn't. However, we still wanted to share these designs with you guys. So these are the gorgeous designs that Femi and I both came up with for the month of February. So I will link Femi's video in my description box below as well as on my end screen. So after you guys watch this video, head on over to her channel, check her video out and show her some love. And I know you guys have waited long enough for this tutorial, so without further ado, let's go. Getting right into today's video, I'm starting with my XXL straight square C-curve tips and my straight edge nail clippers. Both you can find on my Amazon storefront, and I'm taking these clippers to taper in the sides of these tips. Now for me, I'm just going to be eyeballing this because I do have an image in my head as to what I want the nail tip to actually look like at this point. But if you are unsure as to the amount that you want to take off, start off with an image in your head or on a piece of paper and take a little bit at a time off of each side of the nail tip, trying to keep the amount that you're nipping off as even as possible on both sides. You can even go in with a marker and draw out the shape on the tip before cutting. So now I'm taking my Kiara Sky 100 grit rectangular hand file and I'm just going to sharpen up that shape even more. Me focusing on my nail shape at this point is going to make it a whole lot easier to reshape these nails after putting down my acrylic. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take the same hand file and I'm going to be blending the artificial tip into the nail plate. However, if you're doing this on natural nails and you want to see how I actually prep the nail plate for any nail enhancement, whether it be gel, polygel or acrylic, check this video out. I will link it in my description box as well. And I went ahead off camera and prepared the rest of the nails for my application. So on this nail, I'm going to be creating a marbled tip. So I'm taking the 3 purple shades of acrylic that I'm using for today's design, and I'm going to start off by randomly placing each color in small but wet beads on the nail, and I'm going to be blending them into each other. For my acrylic application today, I am using my Kiara Sky EMA liquid monomer along with my Alpha brush number 9 capped oval Kolinsky, and for the colored acrylics that I'm using, I am using JC Beauty Concepts Neon Purple, and this is from their Neon collection. I'm also using Tones number 34, and that is also from their Neon collection, as well as this powder that I received by Not Polish in my Not Polish mystery box, and this one is called Tender Lavender. So depending on how detailed I actually want my marble to be, I do use individual beads of color, place them on the nail, and then use the tip of my brush to blend them and swirl them into each other. Now this is my personal preference because I do like seeing more vein lines in my acrylic marble, and this just gives me that result. So when I'm happy with the way that my marble looks, I'm going to be taking some of these iced flakes by the Veronique shop, and I'm going to randomly be placing them throughout my marble. Now these are not planned, you don't need to be perfect with them, just put them anywhere you feel like it. And now I'm taking that Tender Lavender again, and I'm actually using this color to create my ombre today. So I'm placing this towards the cuticle area, and then I'm going to be blending it up into the marble. Now you can definitely leave it this way, but for me I decided to go in with some gold foil, and I'm going to be using the gold foil to kind of create a diagonal French design on this nail. Now again, this is just really random. I really did not know where I was going with this set. I know that I wanted to create something sort of whimsical and marble-ish to go along with the amethyst theme. So this was just me winging it, and wherever the breeze blew, I went, and I really love the end result, how it turned out. So I also decided to add some gold foil in between the ice flakes as well. Now the acrylic has not completely set up just yet, so I still have time to press the foil into the acrylic before it sets all the way. But if I were doing this in the case where the acrylic was completely set already, I would have taken a small bead of my clear acrylic powder and I would have used that to hold the foil and the flakes in place. Now I am going to allow that nail to fully set up before I go in and encapsulate, and on this nail I'm going to be creating the same marbled effect using the same 3 purple shades of acrylic powder. The only difference is I'm doing the entire nail. Now one tip that I can give you guys whenever you're doing an acrylic marble, and I said it before, I like working with small but wet beads of my acrylic. I will recommend working with small beads because you do want to encapsulate this design so that you can protect that marble that you work to achieve with your acrylic powder, as well as because I have glitter and foil in between my marble, I do need to protect that by encapsulating with my clear acrylic as well. So therefore, the smaller and the wetter the beads of acrylic are, then the thinner the nail is going to stay. So therefore, you go in with your clear acrylic and give this nail the structure that it needs by encapsulating. Another thing is, because I'm working with colored acrylic, if I were doing this on the natural nails on a client or on myself, I would start off with a thin layer of my clear acrylic, and that is just to protect the natural nail from staining. I know lots of people just go in with colored acrylic. For me personally, I don't like it, so I always lay down a thin layer of clear acrylic. I always tell you guys that. This makes it easier if my client decides to come back and she wants to change all this color. I can always file down to that thin layer and then start a fresh new set with a different color. However, recently I've been contemplating if it would just be easier to soak the acrylic off rather than to file it off. So I want to know from you guys, tell me in the comment section below, do you prefer to file an old design off, or do you just go ahead and soak it off and start fresh? I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on that. Especially if you work in a salon environment, let me know which one you find is faster. Because honestly speaking, since I switched over and started using the Kiara Sky products more, I personally find that it soaks off faster than any other brand of acrylic that I've used so far. Like, it melts so quickly once you file down to that nice thin layer and then you soak it off. It soaks off in like 2 twos, and I'm really loving it. Now their monomer is very much inexpensive and I find myself reaching for it a lot more lately because it doesn't have a high chemical smell to it. So you guys can definitely check it out. I do have a 10% off discount code for Kiara Sky. I also have a discount code for JC Beauty Concepts, and Alpha does not have a discount code anymore, but I do have a discount code for the Veronique shop, which is where I get my ice flakes from. Now the gold foil, on the other hand, I found a deal on Amazon where you can actually get 3 large containers, gold, silver and copper, for a very reasonable price, and I do have it on my Amazon storefront if you guys want to snatch this deal. Trust me, you will not be buying those small bits of foil in a hurry because this is really going to last a long time. So on this nail, I honestly thought I was going to do an ombre. Well, I did end up doing an ombre, but I ended up doing a 3 colored ombre on this nail. So for some, I don't know what was going on with me, but usually I would start with the color at the tip. However, I started with the color at the cuticle area this time. Not exactly sure why though. I think because I had a different idea in mind. So I wasn't originally planning to do a 3-color ombre on this nail. I was planning to do a glass tip ombre with the ice flakes and this lavender color. However, it turned into using the 3 shades of purple to do a 3-color ombre on this nail. Don't know what happened there. But anywho, I am starting off with tender lavender to the cuticle area, and next I'm taking the tones neon purple, which is number 34, and I'm going to place that at the tip of the nail. Now because I already started to the cuticle area, I am working with these colors very thin, so therefore I can go ahead and still encapsulate the entire nail. I then went ahead and placed the JC Beauty Concepts neon purple and blending that up in towards the tones neon purple, which is number 34. Then I'm just going to be taking the tender lavender and I'm going to be softening out the line from the JC Beauty Concepts neon purple. Now, I didn't want to carry the JC Beauty Concepts neon purple too far down towards the cuticle area because I still went in and added some of those ice flakes and gold foil at a diagonal right over the tender lavender and the JC Beauty Concepts neon purple. And the reason for me not taking it far down is because I already added the tender lavender towards the cuticle area without this design in mind. So therefore, if I took it too far down, then the cuticle area could have ended up being too thick, and then by the time I go in and add the ice flakes and the gold foil and all of that on top of it and still have to encapsulate it, then that area would have been way too thick, and then by the time I start filing, I would have started filing into my gold foil and the ice flakes, and I don't want that. So now I'm just going to be taking my Kiara Sky all-in-one clear acrylic powder and I'm going to be encapsulating the entire nail. So on the middle finger and the thumb, they are going to be the same thing. I did include a thumb design for this one for you guys, even though you're not going to see it in the final result. I know some people were asking me, like, if I do the 4 nails, what do I do on the thumb? So usually I'll just go in and repeat one of the designs on the thumb, or the thumb will just go in a plain color. So starting with that JC Beauty Concepts neon purple, I did place it towards the cuticle area and lightly feather it up towards the free edge of the extension. When I was happy with the coverage towards the cuticle area and the fade, I'm taking my ice flakes and I'm going to be feathering it back towards the cuticle area, making sure that the tip of the nail is more so covered with the ice flakes. And if I find that my ombre looks a little bit too perfect, I'm just going to take some of those flakes and randomly place them lower down to the center of the nail, so that if I get a nice smooth ombre transition between the acrylic powder and the ice flakes. Now I am picking up small beads of clear acrylic when I pick up the ice flakes because it doesn't come pre-mixed with clear acrylic, so I do allow that to set, and I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the thumb. And when I'm finished with the thumb, I'm just going to go back to the middle finger and I'm going to be encapsulating that nail. So these are what my nails look like now that my acrylic application is complete. I do wait for the acrylic to fully set before I start filing these babies back into shape. So I'm taking my Kiara Sky Beyond Pro Rechargeable Nail Drill as well as my 5-in-1 carbide bit, and I am working with my e-file at 7,000 RPMs. So I'm going to use this bit to gently go around the cuticle area to seal in that acrylic, and after I do that I'm going to take this same bit and I'm going to work it over the entire surface of this nail. Now when it comes to me going over the entire surface of this nail, I'm not debulking the acrylic. All I'm doing is I'm using this bit to remove any imperfections in my acrylic application. So every so often you're going to see me go over the nail with my finger, and this is just to feel to make sure there are no dips or bumps or humps or lumps in my acrylic application. If there is, I'm going to take this bit and I'm going to go back over the nail again until that bump is nice and smooth and the entire nail is nice and even. And I am filing in a vertical direction because it's going to prevent my drill bit from slipping, and it's also going to help my filing process to go by a little bit faster because I do get to cover more nail surface filing in this direction. I'm also going to be sealing in the cuticle area and sidewalls, and this step is very important. Now if the acrylic is not sealed in properly, once that acrylic starts to grow out, then it's going to grow out with a lip on it because it's not flush to the natural nail. Therefore the acrylic is easily going to be caught in like clothes or hair and anything that it could catch on, and that is going to cause the nail to lift. So you do want to spend a little extra time around the sidewalls and cuticle area just to make sure that that area is nice and flush because it's more prone to lifting. And finally, taking this same bit, I'm going to be tapering the sidewalls of my extension. Now usually I just use this bit underneath the sidewalls just in case any product would have gotten under there and started to harden up. It's much easier for me to remove it with my e-file rather than with my hand file. And now I'm taking my Kiara Sky 100 grit moon shaped hand file, and I'm going to use this to redefine the shape of the sidewalls as well as the free edge of my extension. And the reason why I'm using the moon shaped one is because I was totally out of stock with the rectangular files and they actually just came, so I'm really excited for that. Now the moon shape, it is the same file, it's just a different shape. However, I just really prefer the rectangular ones, especially for longer nails. And once I was happy with the way that everything looks, I am going to be taking the Kiara Sky Pink 80 100 grit buffer on the 100 grit side, and I'm going to be buffing 2 of these nails nice and smooth. Now you can also buff over these nails with a sanding band. So on the other 2 nails, I'm taking my Kiara Sky mandrel bit as well as the Kiara Sky black fine sanding band, and I'm going to buff over the surface of the entire nail. Again, you're going to see me constantly passing my hand over the entire nail surface just to make sure that everything is nice and smooth and nice and even. And my final step is to turn my client's hand around and see the nails from her point of view, see what she sees. At this point you can see if the free edge of a nail is crooked, then you go ahead and you fix it. You can see if one side of the nail is thicker than the other side, and now you go ahead and fix it. If a nail is crooked, which means you have not been turning your client's hand around throughout the entire service and you choose to turn it around when you're finished filing, you're supposed to constantly turn that hand around, especially when you're starting off. Even from the beginning, by just doing the foundation and shaping your nail tips, you look at your client's point of view. That way you can see if a nail is on crooked, then you definitely go ahead and remove that nail and reapply another one before you even start putting product on it. So after I do that, I did cleanse with my Kiara Sky dust brush to remove all the heavy dust, and now I'm spraying with my alcohol and I'm going to cleanse these nails again just so that they're nice and clean and free from all the dust for my next step. Now I do not allow my clients to wash their hands. I do just spray with alcohol because I don't like wetting the acrylic. Now after you spray with alcohol and you cleanse the nail, they do get this white cast over them. All I do is I take my primer, the same primer I will prime the natural nails with, and I will cover it over the entire nail to get rid of that white cast and allow that to completely set before I start applying my no wipe gel top coat. Now I'm taking my Kiara Sky non-wipe gel top coat and I'm going to be coating over all the nails except the middle finger, making sure that I remove any excess gel along the sidewalls of my extension to help maintain the shape of these nails. And once I complete the entire hand, I'm going to give it a full cure for 30 seconds. And I am curing in my Kiara Sky Beyond Pro Rechargeable LED light. Now, if you guys are interested in any of the products that I mentioned, I will list it down in my description box below. All of the Kiara Sky products will be listed down there as well as my discount code. You do get to save yourself 10% off the entire website once you use BeGlam. Now they also have Afterpay available, so you guys can definitely go ahead and check that out as well. It must be an order of $35 and over, plus you still get to use my discount code and save your 10%. So it works out, and that is so amazing, and I'm so happy to list all of my discount codes as well as links to every single product that I use in the description box for you guys. So now I'm taking this jewelry gel and I'm just going to be placing it right where I want my crystals to be. After I lay that down, I'm taking the Kiara Sky non-wipe gel top coat and I'm going to coat over the entire nail, including that gel that I just placed on the nail. And without curing this nail, I'm going to start placing my crystals right where I want them. Now my bling placements are usually a little bit random, so wherever these stones rest and they fit, I'm going to leave it once it looks appealing to the eye. If it does not work for me, I'm just going to be shifting it around until I'm happy with it. I'm also using some of my favorite micro beads because I love using micro beads with rhinestones, and I'm also using some of these gold triangular arrowheads. I don't remember where I got these from. I've had them forever. And once I was happy with the way that the bling placement looked, I did go ahead and remove any excess gel off of the sidewalls of the nail tip, and then I went ahead and cured this nail for a full 30 seconds. And that was it for this set. I will have a clip of the final result at the end of the video coming up for you guys. I really and truly hope that you enjoyed and love how this set turned out, and I hope it was worth the wait. If you stuck with me up until this point in the video, go ahead and leave me some purple heart emojis in the comment section below. And to all my February babies, go ahead and drop your birth date in the comment section as well. And I do want to wish you guys a very happy and glamorous belated birthday. My mom's birthday was actually 20th of February as well. So that is it for me. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure your notifications are on. That way you don't ever miss out whenever your girl drops a new video. Don't forget, Femi's video is coming up on my end screen. I hope you're having an amazing day or night, whatever time it is where you're watching from right now. As always, I would love for you guys to stay glamorous, be safe, and I'll see you soon.